Jude, you ready to talk Disneyland?
Yeah.
All right, well, what we're going to do, this is my daughter Judy, she's 5 years old, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to ask her some questions about our last trip to Disneyland that we went on. So she'll always have memories of when she was 5 years old going to Disneyland, and just in case anyone out there has, a kid about 5 years old and wants to know what rides that Judy likes. I know all 5-year-olds are different, but this might give you an idea of what rides to take your 5-year-olds on. So we have a ride chart here. Every time we go to Disneyland, we keep track of all the rides we go on. This is Disneyland on this side and California Adventure on this side. In this last trip, we got home actually a month ago today, and we spent 4 days total there. We had park hopper tickets so we could go to either park. We ended up only going to California Adventure on two of the 4 days. The other two we just spent all day at Disneyland. But we'll get to that in a second, I guess. So anyway, also at the end of the trip, I have the kids write down their favorite rides. In this case, I wrote down Judy's 4. She told me what they were. Do you remember what you said your favorite ride was? I haven't talked to her about this. We'll see if it's the same. Oh, so now she said teacups, but on this sheet you had teacups as your second favorite ride. She had Alice in Wonderland as her favorite ride.
Yeah, I like Alice in Wonderland.
So why do you like Alice in Wonderland?
Oh, because I like how you go down in the cave.
Yeah. What is there anything you don't like about it, or is it okay? Is it scary or no?
I don't like what at the end. I don't like that.
What happens at the end?
He has a birthday cake and he blows up and it's loud.
Yeah. So Judy doesn't like a lot of loud rides, and so at the very end of Alice in Wonderland, there's a birthday scene where there's kind of a little, what'd you say, maybe like an explosion type of thing?
Yeah.
And it's a little bit loud for Judy, but she still thinks Alice in Wonderland is her favorite ride.
Cake.
It's a birthday cake, yeah.
Yeah.
Teacups she said was her second favorite ride. Why do you like the teacups?
Well, because I like to spin and you get sick.
You like to make me sick, don't you?
Yeah, I make mommy sick. I spin it around and I make mommy sick. She does not like that, right?
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Okay, your third favorite ride on your sheet was Small World. You like It's a Small World?
Yeah.
Why do you like It's a Small World?
Well, because I like that we're on water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to see all the dolls and stuff.
The dolls are cool, and they're from different countries and stuff, right?
Cool. And I like the different decorations on there too.
There's a lot of decorations.
Yeah, like the heart thing and the little ducks.
Do you have a favorite decoration?
I like the Ariel one.
You like the Ariel on there?
Yeah.
Did you know my favorite decoration from Small World is there's a little sun that goes around and around and around?
Yeah, that one. That's the one that Shelly likes.
Yeah.
Shelly likes the sun thing that goes around and around and it goes up.
Yeah.
Around. Yeah.
So Small World is a favorite of ours. The next ride, her next favorite was actually over at California Adventure. Those first three are all at Disneyland. Her fourth favorite ride is at California Adventure, and it's the Little Mermaid ride.
Yeah, I like that.
So what's so good about the Little Mermaid ride?
Well, I like where you go under the sea, like when your show goes back.
So you're sitting in a clamshell, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like you're going underwater because there's bubbles that come up on the walls.
Yeah, and you go down, you go down, your clam goes down, because it's actually on a little hill, and then it makes it tilt back.
Yep. Just like you're going underwater. That is a fun ride.
Yeah.
Now her fifth favorite ride is actually one of my favorites, maybe my first favorite. It is in Disneyland. It's called Storybook Land Canal Boats. That ride, along with Casey Jr., they say was one of Walt Disney's favorite areas of the park. Now, why do you like Storybook Land Canal Boats?
Well, I like to see those little ducks and the village thing with the cheers, because that's their house.
Yeah, so
and I like it.
That's funny because there's actually some real ducks that take up residence there. Now, on Storybook Land Canal Boats, if you don't know, they have miniature replicas of all the different, not all, but many of the different characters, like Mr. Toad. You see Mr. Toad's house, very small house, and very detailed, just crazy intricate detail.
And you see Elsa's castle too.
Elsa's castle's there.
You see it at Casey Jr. and Storybook too.
That's right, you do.
And she actually sings too.
You can hear who sing?
Elsa.
Elsa, you can hear her singing?
Yeah.
Oh, what song is she singing?
Like the song when she's building it.
Is it Let It Go? Or no, is it? Do you remember?
Yeah, I got a part stuck in my head right now.
That's okay. So, back to our funny story. Judi said her favorite part about it was that they're the ducks on the miniature village. Well, they do a little replica of London Park, I believe it is, with Peter Pan, and have little teeny benches that are probably about that big and that tall, and little street lights which are about that big. And then there's real life ducks that take up residence there, that think that of their home. And it's funny because they're obviously out of place there because the ducks are bigger than the benches and lampposts. But Judi says that's her favorite part about the ride, huh?
Yeah.
All right, your next favorite. Oh, this is a new ride, and it's in California Adventure. And she said her next favorite ride was Jesse's Critter Carousel.
Yeah.
Now, why do you like Jesse's Critter Carousel?
Because I like the animals on the carousel.
Okay.
Like, yeah. So last time, I got, hold on, let me think. I think I got, like, I forgot.
You forgot what you were gonna say?
Yeah.
Well, so Jesse's Critter Carousel. Well, do you remember what used to be there? It was King Triton's Carousel, and they took that one out because they rethemed the whole area into Pixar Pier. That's what they call it now. It used to be Paradise Pier, and they put in Jesse's Critter Carousel, and it's just kind of a normal carousel. But I think probably because it's new, maybe, and there's really cute animals on there. I think that's why it's one of Judi's favorites. She also likes King Arthur's Carousel over in Disneyland. But
what is that one?
that's one of the horses that you go around and around on. Remember the horses?
Yeah, but well, is that one like? Yeah, but it's still in.
Yeah, it's still there. No, that's still there. You're right. Her next favorite. Oh, this is a new one too. Over in California Adventure, it's called Disney Junior Dance Party.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
They used to have what was it called? Disney Junior Playhouse or something. Do you remember what it was called, Jude? But that was actually one. I liked that one. But Judi liked the dance party quite a bit.
Yeah, because you could see all the characters.
Yeah. Now
like you saw Mickey and Mouse, the Racers, Doc and Stefan, Vampirina, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they spin them in.
Yeah. Now, her next favorite was King Arthur's Carousel, which we actually talked about already. But that one is over in Disneyland. Then her next favorite is over in California Adventure. It's called Soarin' Over California. Why do you like Soarin' Over California?
Well, because I like that you go up. And like you smell the roses, the oranges. And then like they hit a golf ball at you, like they hit it, and then it like comes at you, and then there's like a hidden Mickey on there. So
we got to go during the promotion where they were running the regular Soarin' Over California, which I think is a lot better than Soarin' Around the World. But it's the one where you have the golf ball and the oranges that Judi was talking about, and we love that one. That's
and at the end there's like fireworks and you can see Disneyland.
Yeah.
And like you go in them, but I cover my ears because they're loud.
Yeah, they're a little bit loud, and Judi doesn't like loud things too much. So her 10th favorite, last on our list, is again in California Adventure, and it's called the Sorcerer's Workshop. Now this is one of the first times we've been to the Sorcerer's Workshop.
Yeah.
Why do you like the Sorcerer's Workshop?
Well, I like that, like one of the horns, they came at me, like when Donald came at me, and I think like a horn came at me, I was like, is it gonna hit me?
Oh wait, are you thinking about Mickey's PhilharMagic? Oh, this is actually the Sorcerer's Workshop. This is the one where you go and you can spin the things and you see the cartoons walking, and then you can read the books in the Beast Library and see what character you are.
I got one of those, Daddy.
I know.
Can I show the camera it?
Maybe a little bit later. Okay, but Judi's talking about, are you talking about the film strip that you made? Or
film strip.
What are you talking about? What do you?
Like the thing where Donald goes to a lot of characters, to like Jess, Aladdin, and stuff.
Is it like where you drew them, or?
No, it's where like Donald or Donald wears Mickey's sorcerer hat, and then all the musical notes go live.
Huh, I don't remember that.
Little things like the musical things like the piano and the horn.
I don't remember. You'll have to show me that later, okay? Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the other rides in Disneyland that didn't make your top 10 list, just so we'll just touch on them kind of briefly. How about Autopia? Like Autopia?
Yeah, that's my favorite ride because I like driving it. You see a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you go under the monorail track.
There's the Astro. Now we're talking about Tomorrowland right now in Disneyland. Astro Orbiter, we didn't go on. It's a little bit kind of scary for Judi. It almost feels like you're going to tip out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Dumbo, but it's a little bit scarier version to me than Dumbo. How about, oh yeah.
I like last time, I think it was last year we went on that rocket ride where you go around and around.
Oh, you went on that last year?
Yeah.
Oh, well, did you like it? That's the Astro Orbiter.
Yeah,
You did like it.
I love that ride.
Okay, well, Judi does like the Astro Orbiter, but we didn't go on it this year. But she went on it last year. I didn't realize you went on it last year.
Yeah, I think I did. I don't know. I like Astro Orbiter. It's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to go on that one next year. Can we, Daddy?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yay, I love Astro Orbiter.
Now, next one is Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. I don't think you've ever done Buzz Lightyear.
What is that one?
Yeah, we didn't do it. And Buzz Lightyear, it's kind of like a video game type of thing. Where you're just shooting things.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Did you do it last year?
No, I remember
Oh,
the
you saw
commercial. Where you get a gun and you try to, and you're moving and you shoot things.
Oh, okay, well, let's keep going. There's the Disneyland Railroad. Now you like the Disneyland Railroad, right? Except there's one scary part you don't like. Do you remember what that is?
I don't like the dinosaurs. They're really bad.
There's some people think it's a pretty cool part. I think it's pretty cool. Called the Primeval World that was added back in, I don't remember the year. I should. Maybe in the 60s. Maybe 60, right after the World's Fair, I believe it was, 64. They put in some dinosaurs into the Disneyland Railroad, and it's the Primeval World. It's actually really cool, but it can be a little bit scary for 5-year-olds.
I don't like the T-Rex.
There's a T-Rex in there.
Yeah, they're fighting.
But they don't come at you or anything, but they're fighting with each other and stuff, and it's a little bit loud, so it's a little bit scary for Judi.
It's huge, and it's fighting with another dinosaur. It's growling.
Yeah, that part, the Primeval World, is right after the Tomorrowland train stop. So if you're worried about your kids maybe being scared of that Primeval World, which they might be a little bit, but it's really cool. But if you're worried about it, it's right after the Tomorrowland stop, so you can still ride the Disneyland Railroad anywhere else and just get off at Tomorrowland and you won't see the dinosaurs. The rest of the train is actually really cool, really relaxing to be on. What about Finding Nemo, Submarine Voyage? You like that one?
Yeah, I like that one. It's cool. I don't like the bombs, though.
There's some loud parts in there, some bombs that can go off that Judi doesn't really care for, but it's fun.
They pretend that we hit some bombs.
Yeah, so that can be a little bit loud and scary. There is the monorail.
Yeah, I like that one because you can go to different places.
The monorail takes you to downtown Disney from Tomorrowland. So it's kind of fun to go there and just come back if you want to. Or you can get off at downtown Disney and walk around there, trade some pins. Judi likes to trade pins. Huh, Jude? Yeah. Now there's Space Mountain. I haven't taken Judi on Space Mountain yet.
What is Space Mountain?
Space Mountain's a roller coaster in the dark. And since you don't really care for fast rides yet, it wouldn't be something Judi would like. And I actually don't like it myself. I get a little bit sick when I go on it. It's you can't really see where you're going, and it kind of goes around and around. And I get a little bit nauseous. I don't usually get motion sickness at all, but I get a little bit dizzy sometimes when I get off that ride. So I don't care for Space Mountain. Now Star Tours, we didn't go on. I think you might like it. You might be a little bit scared.
What is it?
It's one of my favorites. Star Tours is. Now it's kind of like we're going to transition here into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the new land at Disneyland. It's a little bit like Smugglers Run. Do you remember Smugglers Run?
I don't like Smugglers Run. It's not a good ride.
We went on Smugglers Run, and Judi didn't really care for it very much.
Yeah, because you crashed too much.
Yeah.
Because you were not steering very good.
I was a pilot, and apparently I wasn't steering very good because we crashed a lot.
Yeah.
I was doing as good as I could.
Yeah, because I was shooting. I was like.
Yeah, you were a gunner, weren't you?
I was like,
Pushing the button. You're pushing the button.
And I got some people. And remember that little box train thing that was going around? I was trying to shoot it to kill it.
So let's talk about Smugglers Run a little bit. Smugglers Run, in my opinion, I was a little bit disappointed in it.
Why?
I thought it was just kind of like a video game. I'd rather have just a nice ride to entertain you rather than having to play a video game in there.
Like a relaxing game, like a relaxing
ride. Yeah, I prefer
like
something
Casey Jr.
like Casey Jr. or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Star Wars themed. I prefer something like that. So
couches where you lay down.
yeah, but so Smugglers Run, it's a decent ride, I guess, but Judi didn't care for it at all. In fact, halfway through I could hear behind me saying, "Daddy, I don't like this, let's go," or something I think you were saying. But
yeah, I said, "Daddy, I don't like this ride, I want to get off of it."
I want to get off of it, that's what you said, yeah. So if your 5-year-old is a little bit timid, they're not going to like Smugglers Run. The other ride in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge isn't open yet. Rise of the Resistance will open January 17th, 2020. So we'll see it next year, possibly. I don't know if I'll take Judi on it because I don't think she would like it yet.
What is it?
Well, it's just a big, intense ride where you get captured by the First Order and then you get set free, but the big AT-ATs will shoot at you and things like that. I think you might be a little bit scared, but we'll see.
I will hate that ride.
Now, Fantasyland is our favorite land for sure because it's got a lot of the fun rides. We'll briefly go over them because I know this is getting kind of long, but Allison Wonderland, you said, is your favorite ride. Casey Jr., do you like Casey Jr.?
Yeah, I like that ride.
That's one of my favorites too. That's a fun ride because you can see all the intricate detail you can see on Storybook Bank and Elbows too.
You can even see the Frozen thing, and
Yep.
you can hear her singing like in the castle. But I don't think it's actually a real, like a toy Elsa. I think it's just like a music box something.
Oh, you think it's just a music box? Not a little Elsa in there?
Yeah, I
Maybe.
think it's a music box.
You're probably
or,
right.
Or it could be a little like toy that has music box in it and like it sings.
Yeah.
Kind of on.
Now the next one on there is Dumbo. You like Dumbo?
Yeah, I love Dumbo. I love it because like you can actually control it. There's like a little like black thing.
Little joystick.
Yeah, and you can like go.
You can move it up and down.
Yeah, you can go up and down.
Yep, you can move your Dumbo up and down. It's kind of like a normal ride you'd see at any amusement park, where it just kind of goes around and around and around. But it's a fun themed ride, and Judi likes it. It's a small, we talked about the Matterhorn bobsleds. I haven't taken Judi on. It's that big white mountain that has the monster inside of it.
Oh,
If it didn't have the monster in it, I still think it might be a little bit too fast, but I think you might like it. But because they put that scary monster in there, the abominable snowman, I won't take you on it.
I don't like that.
It's kind of I think it's almost too intense for me too. I don't care for the growling and the loudness of the Matterhorn monster, but I like the ride. It's a little bit bumpy, but the loud monster kind of makes it a little bit not enjoyable for me. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. What about that one, Judi?
I don't want to go on that one because I don't want to go in the warm part. I'm scared.
Yeah. There's a couple loud parts in Mr. Toad, and the funny thing is, it used to be my favorite ride when I was a kid. I don't know why, but it was. But Judi doesn't care for it very much.
Yeah,
so.
because I don't want to go in the hot part.
What about
Really hot.
What about Peter Pan?
I love that ride too, but I don't like going like down. I think it tickles my tummy a little bit.
It does.
Like,
So in Peter Pan, I think it's one of the best dark rides. The dark rides are rides that are indoors, and there's a few of them like Alice, Peter Pan, Snow White, Pinocchio, Mr. Toad. Peter Pan is an opening day attraction, opened in 1955, July 17th, along with the rest of the park. But it actually has a couple sections where you go down just a little bit, not very much at all, but Judi still scares her a little bit.
You go like this.
Just down a little bit, and she says it tickles her tummy a little bit.
Go like this.
But you really don't notice it too much. Most kids, I think, would really like that ride. There's mermaids at the end and
Daddy,
Captain Hook in
can we
there.
talk about pirates now?
Yes.
After?
Tell me. Well, let's finish Fantasyland, and then we'll talk about New Orleans Square, which is Pirates, okay?
Yeah, I love pirates a
Now,
little bit.
Pinocchio. Have you been on Pinocchio? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you like Pinocchio or no?
I forgot. Oh yeah, I like Pinocchio. That's the coolest thing because like he's looking for Pinocchio and there's a wheel that jumps up. There's one part that I don't like is I don't like where they get mad at you.
Yeah, I was actually
and I don't like the part where they open the gate and say some words, like some naughty words, and then they get back down when you leave.
I was very surprised that Judi keeps asking to go on Pinocchio because there are some scary parts in that ride, even I think more scary than Mr. Toad, but Judi kept actually asking to go on Pinocchio. That's kind of a hit and miss ride. It would be probably one of the rides that if your child's a little bit squirmish, you might skip Pinocchio, but for some reason Judi likes it. So Well, next we'll talk about
Pirates. Can we talk about pirates?
Oh,
because that's what.
Wait. After Fantasyland, we gotta finish Fantasyland first. Snow White's Scary Adventures. Have I taken you on that one? I don't think I have.
I don't want to go on
Yeah,
that one.
Snow White's Scary Adventures. It's another dark ride that's supposedly for kids, but it's creepy. It's very scary. So I don't know.
What's in it?
It doesn't make any sense. They have the evil queen that seems to pop out at you all the time, or not the evil queen, but the witch, the old hag.
Like this, like she's down, and then once she comes up, you do this.
Kind of like that, but she'll turn around like this real fast, and it's just not a very good kid ride. I have a video of it posted on my YouTube channel in case you want to check that out. Alright, we talked about the teacups, we talked about Storybook Land canal boats. Let's go over to New Orleans Square, and which ride do you want to talk about there?
Pirates, I like it because...
And by pirates, she means Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I like that it's one of the other dark rides where they paint a roof on top and it looks like it. My favorite part, I think, I probably like the drops a little. Yeah.
You like the drops? No, on the ride you told me you didn't like the drops.
I like where you see the where you see the little thing.
The skull?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the ride, we went on it twice. Now, this is the first year that Judy's gone on it since she was really, really young, because she didn't like, there's 2 drops in Pirates of the Caribbean. The drops aren't very big, but they're probably about, maybe 8 feet that you go down, maybe 10, and you don't go crazy fast, but you go a little bit faster. When I was a kid, I did not like the drops. They tickled my tummy, as Judy would say.
There's bones, and there's a head, and he talks, and then once you go under it,
that's your first drop, huh?
And then you go down.
Yeah.
And back up.
Now both drops are very early on in the ride. So the first part of the ride, you're going to ride through the Blue Bayou restaurant, which is a really cool scene. You're just floating kind of on the bayou, and you can see people eating their dinner off to the right. Really cool setting to eat dinner. It's very expensive in the Blue Bayou, but really cool place. But you float through there, and right when you get done with that are the 2 drops. And those are the parts, after the 2 drops, it's actually really cool. I think Judy likes it, but it's those 2 drops that kind of tickle Judy's tummy.
Because I like the jewels and everything, and then at the end there's a fun drop. You go down a little bit, and then
So you go at the very, very end. What Judy's talking about is you have to go back up the 2 drops you went down.
Yeah,
and at the very end, you just go down a little bit, but not very much.
Some of my things.
Okay.
So I like that part where where the dog has the key, and they're trying to they're whistling at him and giving up the bone.
Yeah, that's a fun part because the cool thing about Pirates of the Caribbean is the ride was so good. They made the movies from the ride, and there's that scene in the movies where they're in jail and they're trying to get the dogs to bring the keys to them, and that was actually in the ride. That's what Judy's talking about.
Yeah, and there's one more part that's cool, and 2 more parts. This part is cool because a skeleton is and 3 more parts.
Talk about one, so we can keep it kind of short.
So one of them is that there's a skeleton with a sword in him.
Oh yeah.
He has a sword through him.
But he's just a skeleton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another one, there is a skeleton drinking something.
You can see it going down as.
Yeah, you can see it going down.
The drink. Yeah.
Yeah, it's red.
Okay.
And, the other one is the small drop. Yeah, actually, I got another thing.
Well, Judy, we're gonna have to move on. So pick one more, and then we'll move on. Okay.
So I like that. You can see everything. There's a person that has a gun. He puts it up, and then it shoots red. And
Dude, I think we're turning this into the Pirates of the Caribbean podcast or video.
I'm trying to say everything that I like, okay?
Okay, one more.
Okay, I like those it's a place where it's foggy and they do
the ship scene with Captain Barbossa, and he's firing against the castle. That's a good one.
Intense fast is it goes up, it shoots
Yeah.
and stuff, and there's some splashes. And once you go over, I think there's or it's in this part. It's like a guy on a boat, and it's foggy.
Well, clearly Judi loves Pirates of the Caribbean except for the 2 drops. So if your kid can handle the drops, your 5-ish-year-old or however old, if they can handle drops, they would actually really like Pirates. It's a classic ride, great ride. Walt Disney himself worked on it. Didn't ever get to see it finished because he died in obviously 1966. Pirates was made in 1967, so just a year after he died, but great ride. The other attraction there's 2 other attractions in New Orleans Square. One of them is the Disneyland Railroad, which we've talked about already. It stops there. And there also is the Haunted Mansion, which I haven't taken Judi on yet because
that's scary because there's so many pretend ghosts.
The ghosts in it, they're not too scary. They're more silly than scary. But actually, to be honest with you, Haunted Mansion is not really my thing, and so I've only gone on it a couple times lately, and I just don't take Judi on it.
You're in a seat, and there's actually a ghost sitting with you.
Do you know what the seat's called? A doom buggy. It's just kind of like the aerial clam, but it's just a doom buggy.
Yeah,
all right.
Daddy,
Let's move on. Let's move on real quick to Frontierland. You saw the show Fantasmic at night. Did you like that show or no?
Oh yeah, that's the best show. You said you should see Fantasmic. It's cool because Mickey actually raise up his hands and then you do the characters and you actually see the characters.
On the boat?
You hear them. Yeah, you see them. They're actually real. Yeah, and there's Ariel, Belle.
Fantasmic is great.
And there's even the Jungle Book.
Yeah. Okay. So we like Fantasmic. The Mark Twain riverboat and the sailing ship Columbia are 2 big boats that sail around the rivers of America. We went on the Mark Twain this year.
Yeah,
they're fun.
It's cool because you can go inside of them.
Yeah.
And there's little couches. And you can sit down. And it's complete.
Now we didn't go over to Tom Sawyer Island this time.
What is that?
That's the island in the middle of the rivers of America. We went on it last year, but we didn't go on it this time. It's a cool island. Most kids really like it quite a bit, actually. It's a fun place to go and explore. There's a lot of caves in it. There is Thunder Mountain Railroad. Do you remember Thunder Mountain Railroad, Jude? It's the fast train ride. You went on it last time. I don't think you went on it this time. It's just a little bit too fast for Judi, but she almost liked it. She wasn't freaking out on it. I think she'll like it in a couple years, but it's still a little bit fast for Judi. It's a roller coaster, but a mild one.
Which one is it?
It's that fast train ride where you're going through. It's it's set.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of like Utah.
Like that one where you go fast. Where I went on it once.
Yeah.
And it goes through the dark place.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I think it goes a little too fast for me.
It does go a little bit too fast for it right now. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, because there's one more ride that I want to talk about,
Which ride do you want to talk about, Jude?
That ride,
Oh, yes, that's in California Adventure. We'll talk about California Adventure maybe in another different video. This time we're just going to talk about Disneyland. Indiana Jones, I didn't take her on. It's not a real kid-friendly ride, I don't think.
Because a neat ball comes at you, and I think you go up the neat ball. I don't know.
No, it's just a little bit bumpy and too intense, I believe, for Judi and for most 5-year-olds, I would say.
How do you go through?
We'll have to talk about it another time. Okay, the Jungle Cruise. How about the Jungle Cruise?
I like it, but I don't like where they shoot a real gun. It's actually a real gun.
So the Jungle Cruise is one of my favorite attractions in Disneyland. That one and Struggle Time Canal was my 2 favorites. The Jungle Cruise, the only part that Judi doesn't like is there's a part where they scare off some hippos that are supposed to be charging at the boat. And to do it, they take out a gun and fire a couple shots into the air.
They're
just blanks, but yeah. So Judi covers her ears like that, and after that she's fine. But it's a real fun ride, good humor. Kids probably are a little bit lost on some of the jokes that are said. It's hilarious for adults and older and maybe some teenagers. My 12-year-old this year said he finally got some of the jokes that he didn't understand before. But 5-year-olds, they like the ride, but some of the humor will go over their head. Tarzan's Treehouse. Jude, do you like Tarzan's Treehouse?
Yeah, it's cool because you can actually see her drawing him.
Yeah. And then we have the Enchanted Tiki Room. You like that one? What do you like about the Enchanted Tiki Room?
I like at the end where they like sing the Snow White song.
Oh, at the very end of
Yeah,
it, when you're getting out.
Yeah.
There is one scary part in the Tiki Room. Now the Tiki Room is
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, the thunder part.
There's one part kind of towards the end of it.
And there's one funny part in there, like where there's like little head people. They're funny because like they talk and it's weird because like they have teeth, so it's weird because once they open it, like it scares me because they have teeth.
The Tiki Room is a great ride. There's an attraction. You don't move.
It's not a ride or anything. It's like you stand on seats and you watch like a show. It's like a show thing.
That's exactly right. It's a show. And who sings?
The Tiki Room.
The whole room does.
Yeah.
There's birds, there's flowers. The thing that Judi was talking about earlier is there's totem poles to the side that if you've never been there before, they start singing and it catches you off guard because they're just right next to you and they start singing.
Yeah, it's creepy.
At the end of their song, one second, Judi, at the end of their song, that's where the scary part that Judi was talking about is where it rains.
At the end of the song it goes like thunder, and then and it's kind of surprising. So I cover my ears on the part, I think at the part where they talk.
Yes. So what happens is the totem poles will sing and some drums on the room play, and then all of a sudden it stops and the room gets dark and there's thunder and it looks like it's raining outside, which is actually a really cool effect.
Yeah,
but
because
of the loudness of the thunder,
it looks like it's actually raining, but it's not. It's just like pretend.
But because of the loudness of the thunder, Judi gets a little bit scared and covers her ears at that part. And I used to be scared of that too when I was a kid. So, all right. Last thing, Critter Country, Davy Crockett Explorer canoes.
What is that?
Those are the canoes that you paddle around. Did you like those?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I like the canoes because you actually have a real paddle thing.
Yeah?
And if you're a kid, you have a life jacket on in case you fall.
That's right. But you paddle all the way around the rivers of America in those canoes. And it's actually kind of a fun way to see the river. And Judi seems to like it pretty well.
Last time we all hit paddles. I had a Lizzie's, I had the ladies.
Yeah.
I had everyone's paddle.
There's Splash Mountain. That's one of my older kids' favorite rides. It's actually one of my favorites too. You do get wet on it, but the end has a long drop. And Judi does not like that long drop yet. So she hasn't been on it. She's still a little bit scared.
I'm old enough for it, but I'm scared.
If your kids don't mind drops, they would like Splash Mountain. If they're a little bit timid, I'd skip that one for them. And then you have Winnie the Pooh. How about Winnie the Pooh?
I like it, but it's a short ride.
It's a short ride, but it's a pretty good ride.
Yeah, I like where you see the things of the show thing.
Oh, the Country Bear Jamboree?
Yeah.
So I told Judi about some trivia. It's just kind of a cool little note. The Country Bear Jamboree used to be in Disneyland, right where Winnie the Pooh is. When they took the Country Bears out, they put Winnie the Pooh in, much to my dismay and the dismay of many Disney fans. But they have a cool little tribute that a lot of people know is that the three of the characters that were in the Country Bear Jamboree, if you look up behind you when you get to the honey room, they're still on the wall behind you, and you can see them. Buff, Melvin, and Henry are up there. So we have Mickey's Toontown. We're going to kind of skip through that one because, frankly, I'm not a fan of Mickey's Toontown. Mickey's house is kind of cool.
Yeah, I like Goofy's house too.
And Donald's boat.
Yeah, I like Goofy's house too because, okay, let's just talk about Goofy's Playhouse or whatever.
What about Goofy's Playhouse?
I like that. It's funny because on the piano, you actually this.
Yeah, it makes funny sounds. Now there's two actual rides, we'll call them, in Mickey's Toontown. One of them is Gadget's Go Coaster, which is a roller coaster.
Do you think you'll like it?
Not quite yet. I think you will. It's kind of like a roller coaster. I don't barely fit in it. I'm 6'4", and my knees were just cramped right up against the seat in front of me. My other kids like it quite a bit. And I could see if it was bigger, I'd probably like it okay. But I haven't taken Judi on it because she doesn't care for the fast rides. And the other one is Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. I'm not a fan of Roger Rabbit, never been on the ride. My kids thought it was probably the worst ride in Disneyland and California Adventure, so I haven't taken Judi on it yet either. This video has gone very long, Jude, so we're going to have to cut. This will be portion 1, and in portion 2, we're going to talk about California Adventure, okay?
Uh-huh.
Thanks for talking with me about Disneyland, Jude.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Bye.